I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Friday, January the 29th, brought to you in part by Zactran. Stress opens a gate to bovine respiratory disease. Slam it shut with Zactran. Remember to observe your 35-day withdrawal period after treatment. For more information, go to Zactran.com or visit with your BI representative. Got the cattle inventory report coming out here on Friday, and it's looking to be a bullish one. It doesn't hinge quite as much as your cattle on feed up against what your analysts quote, but your analysts are looking for it to be positive. They're looking for total numbers of all cattle and calves to be about 94.4 million head, down 0.3%, which doesn't sound much, but it's still quite a few head count. Cows being down 0.8%, and but beef cows down 1.3% because your dairy cows are a little bit better with milk kind of recovering here, and they're doing just a touch better than what they've been doing here in recent years. But we're looking for that. That could be some confirmation that would cause some outside investors to come into your futures market and help prop that up a little bit. Talking about outside investors, I'm sure you guys saw what happened with the hedge fund debacle there, but it looks like some of these stock traders are seeing what these funds are willing and capable of doing. But those of us that watch your ag commodities closely, we've known that for decades. I mean, they come in and dogpile the market, shorten it all the time, especially on cattle when they know the industry is putting a lot of pressure on it to go down with their hedging and all. But the stock world is starting to see a little bit of that too. But what else is going on? We saw the news finally came out that it was Easter Day ranches that came up $225 million short of cattle to Tyson up in the Pacific Northwest. And of course I'm out here in Idaho, and that was the big news everybody was talking about. But then heard late on Thursday that in fact Easter Days had already made a deal with Agri-Beef to buy the north lot, the main lot there, which I'm told is a first-rate facility there. But who knows if that's going to go through? It's probably going to be tied up in court for a long time. But just kind of industry news going forward there. But we're seeing our feeder cattle receipts in the auctions starting to drop significantly. Now, in the Midwest, it was down a lot this week because of bad weather and blizzard type conditions, bad road conditions and the like there. But we're just seeing lighter numbers of feeder cattle moving through the auctions finally, because they've been heavy and not as heavy as recent years, but still it helps with our market a little bit when there's not quite as many on offer. Let's talk about your feeder cattle futures. February live cattle futures down 45 cents on Thursday, sitting at 116 even, and it seems like we're stopping at round numbers quite a bit. Just a few days ago it was at 117, but now we're at 116 even. And your Southern Plains is scrambling, trying to get $3 back of that as we're moving into the contract month here at 113. But we saw mixed futures on Thursday and throughout your months going into the back months, which have been so supportive but have started to fall off quite a bit. Feeder cattle were also very mixed and uneven. April live cattle futures up 7 cents at 122.70, going out from there, and they were down 15 cents to down 55, so not terrible, but it'll probably hinge on what the board does as we open up on Friday morning and go through mid-morning on Friday, whether or not your Southern Plains will go ahead and get the 113 that they're wanting, and whether the North will trade significantly more numbers of dressed cattle at 177, maybe 178. But all those figures would be higher than last week. January feeder cattle up 7 cents at 135.70. You look at March, which was up the limit last Friday. Now we've seen some pressure come on that. Now it's backed all the way off from where that was. But March feeder cattle on Thursday down 27 cents, 139.80. You go on out from there, and your back months of feeder cattle, they were down 70 cents to up 10 cents. Corn has kind of settled down a little bit. Hasn't been quite as volatile the last couple of days, closing on Thursday at 534.5. Now, beans still volatile, which beans have a history of being volatile, but on Thursday down 21.5 cents, around 13.53 there, but that's still significantly higher grain prices than what we're used to. Your fat cattle trade, I told you a little bit about it. We didn't see a whole lot of confirmed sales on Thursday, and we thought that we probably would see some trade. But as much as your packers have made this week, especially on your wholesale beef prices, box beef cutout values are up about $10 on the week, but they still don't want to give up that market position. And I tell you what, they play hardball, and they use all their leverage, and they don't give up, and they play every dirty trick in the book outside of pulling a knife, and I wouldn't be surprised to hear something like that, but they just don't want to give it up. But Iowa only had about 2,000 head confirmed on Thursday, only 6,600 so far for the week. Trading live sales from 110 to 112. That 112 would be $3 higher. But significant numbers selling back from that 112. Some dress sales in Iowa from 174 to 177, and they had more confirmed sales than any other 5-area feeding region there on Thursday, because they don't hold out quite as long as some of the other guys. They don't fight quite as hard. But Nebraska, only 600 head confirmed on Thursday, only 700 head confirmed for the week so far. They've got a lot of cattle to trade here on Friday. It'll be interesting to see what happens, and like I said, it'll probably hinge on the board. They had a few, and I heard lower quality kind of cattle, some mixed deals selling at 110 on Thursday. Had some dress sales at 175. Likely they were mixed bag kind of stuff, but did hear some guys in the country saying that they had call-in bids, which the Packer says, if you'll take 177 or 178, I'll call the head of procurement and maybe we can get that. But the guys are wanting 180, and God bless them for holding out for that. That 177, 178 would be $4 to $5 higher than last week, but you can imagine them. Most of them are hedged up, and they're losing another $3 or $4 on their hedges, with the board sitting at 116. So they're scratching and clawing and trying to hold, and they're thinking maybe with a positive cattle inventory report on Friday, maybe the board will be positive Friday and they can get what they want. But 180 seems like a wish there, unless things are really higher starting out the day on Friday. But would like to move several cattle there, and likely it'll be somewhere around 178 there on a dress basis. But Kansas, only 1,300 head confirmed on Thursday, only 1,400 head for the week. They've got a lot of cattle to sell in the Southern Plains. 110 to 112 on some lower quality mixed bag stuff. They've been offered 112 heavily. They're mostly priced at 114 in the Southern Plains. 113 would probably sell a lot of cattle, and that'd be about $3 higher. Texas didn't have any confirmed sales on Thursday, and less than 2,000 head for the week. So a lot of cattle, a lot of business to do on Friday. Here, box beef cutout values, like I said, they just continue to go higher. Thursday afternoon, choice boxes at $231.99. That's up $2.33. Selects at $220.88, up $1.89. And like I said, both select and choice up about $10 compared to the same time a week ago. Your slaughter, running decent clip, 471,000 through Thursday. That's 2,000 more than last week, 16,000 less than the same week a year ago. But like I said, we've been running these big Saturdays, and I assume if they do that this Saturday, they'll overtake a year ago figures, and we'll have heavier slaughter. Actual slaughter data came in for the week ending January the 16th. Those average dressed steer carcass weights just continue to climb, telling us that we've got some big cattle we've still got to get through, guys. A lot of the folks are telling me another 30 days and they'll start to get cleaned up, and then we're going to start looking at lower numbers of market-ready cattle towards the end of the first quarter, so that could bode well for your market. But 925 pound on your average dressed steer carcass weight, that's up another 2 pounds compared to the last week's report. Let's talk about what else went on. Like I said, I was up here in Cambridge, Idaho. Had a good visit with the guys at Weiser River Cattlemen's Association, and there's feeder flash gang members all over this country and outside it too, especially north of the border. But it always tickles me to see people that stay tuned to this and watch it on a regular basis in little spots that I've never been to before. But had a good visit with them. They had the big sale at out in Red Bluff, the video sale on Thursday. Western Video Market had one whale of a sale out there, and just impressive quotes on light cattle because they've had moisture in California. Seen some stuff on social media where they were getting significant moisture on those pastures that they haven't been able to turn anything out on. They usually graze in the wintertime, but 3, 4, 5 inches in spots. But give you some representative quotes off that Western Video Market sale. How about Jim Jacobs' cattle there on some of these program cattle? He had some ranch-raised calves there. Got some weight to them. Of course, they're long time weaned and have had everything, but also NHTC, non-hormone treated cattle, and verified natural north of Vail, Oregon, for a late April delivery. So this kind of tells us that we're going towards a higher market. But 56 of those ranch raised steers weighed 850 pounds at $159 on those program cattle, and then the sisters off of them, 75 of those to weigh 800 pounds, come the same time at $151, only $8 back, and that's the best we've really seen for quite a while. Also on Western Video Market sale, they had a big long string of lambs on there, 1,650 head of lambs from east of Fresno, California. Current delivery, 87-pound base weight, from 227 to 229. And everybody I've ever talked to said, if you're in the sheep business, it's either really good or really bad. There's not really anything in the middle, and it's looking pretty good right now. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market, your real-time index on DV auction. Late in the day on Thursday, sitting at 137.14. That was up another 60 cents, and we've been kind of slowly gaining on that index average there. That's based on an 800-pound steer, but our numbers have really dwindled down. Just a couple of weeks ago, we were looking at in the middle 50,000s on that pool in the index, and now we're down at just over half of that. So like I said, lighter numbers of cattle everywhere. Let's look at some of your sales on Thursday. Farmers and ranchers livestock, of course they've had weather in that country. Salina, Kansas, only 1,700 head. Market was very uneven compared to last week's bigger offering. How about another Kansas sale in southeastern Kansas there? Coffeyville Livestock, my good friend Brian Little there, had a pretty good sale, 1,500 head there. You look at this automated marker report, looked to be $3 to $6 higher on the best tested weight, so a good sale there. Another Kansas sale there in south central Kansas. How about Pratt, Kansas, winter livestock, 1,500 head there, also very uneven on your price trends. With some bigger quotes or bigger receipts there. How about Ogallala Livestock, Ogallala, Nebraska, 5,100 head there. Market reporter there called the steers pretty sharply higher and the heifers pretty sharply lower, which always makes me raise an eyebrow there. But it looked a little more unevenly steady than that when you look at this automated market report, and you guys be the judge on there, comparing your weighted averages and your best tested weight groups there compared to last week, and they were just a couple of dollars either side of steady for the most part. But look at some of your steer groups there. 667 head of the 5-weight steers, average 558 at 167.97. That was off about $3 on your weighted average. 908 head of the 6-weight steers, average 653 at 150.59, just about a buck off of last week. 713 head of the 7-weight steer calves, average 747 at 146.18. That was actually a couple of bucks better on the weighted average price compared to a week ago. On some heifers, 740 head of the 5-weight heifers, average 550 at 154.48, down about a buck. 748 head of the 6-weight heifers, average 646 at 139.68. That was about $3 off, but still a really good sale at Ogallala, and then they have those regularly there. A couple of individual quotes. How about Stockman's Livestock Exchange East in Dickinson, North Dakota? Tell you what, that's up there where they've been doing a lot of the oil boom there has been in the last few years, and anybody that voted for Biden's probably having second thoughts in that part of the country, but I doubt there were too many of them. But right there at Stockman's Livestock, they sold 66 head, 516-pound steer calves at 180 and a quarter, way up there in North Dakota. How about Ogallala had the most impressive quote I saw, and your Zach Tran top quote for the day come out of Ogallala. They were aged and sourced steer calves, 55 head of them weighed $766 and $152. And that's your feeder flash for Friday.